Don't do too much copy editing while you're performing a story edit. And I have very specific reasons for this. But the reasons are, I don't recommend it at this stage, is one, it distracts your brain. And so instead of thinking about the person's story, you're thinking about the comma or the misplaced quotes or the something that could be cut at some time. The writers paid you for difficult and a different level of editing. So story editing is usually the most expensive, and they're looking to you for your story expertise. They can do a copy edit later. They can have friends do it for them. They can pay somebody else to do it, whatever. But they're really paying you for the expertise that you have in story. The next thing is it wastes time, both for the writer and the editor, because the writer will take time accepting and rejecting those changes, or worst case scenario, they just accept them all at once and don't even look at them. The biggest risk to the writer is they might ignore the story editing suggestions and go, oh, I've done all of this copy editing. It's great. And feel like they've accomplished so much. They're done. And then now they just have a bad story with good grammar. We reduce copy editing, but we don't want to get rid of it altogether. So you can do things like sentences in a paragraph are out of order. So an action to explain is not effective as an action to reaction. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Here is an action and followed by an explanation. So Sarah crossed the street. As she bolted through traffic, ignoring the honks she thought about when she was 12, and a dog bit her. A dog that looked just like it had been on the other side of the street. So what this is doing is explaining something before and then the action and then the explanation. But here, if you flip it around, so it's action reaction instead of action explanation. It's the dog approaching Sarah looked just like the dog that bit her when she was 12. She bolted across the street, ignoring the honks of oncoming traffic. So there you can see the pacing has changed, and pacing is a story editing function. So this is one of those things that looks like it's copy editing, but it's not really, because it's the pacing of the story. And the other way is much more subdued and less active. And if the person in particular is trying to write an active story, these are things that just by flipping around, you can make it better by doing the pacing.